So we're looking today at Mark chapter 8, and in this chapter we see several different accounts of Jesus healing people. He heals a leper, a centurion's servant, Peter's mother-in-law, and many who were oppressed and possessed by demons. I'm just going to read one of those accounts, the healing of a leper. So it's from Matthew 8 verses 1 to 3. When he came down from the mountain, great crowds followed him. And behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him, saying, Lord, if you will, you can make me clean. And Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. So we learn a really important principle in this chapter, that we follow a God who has the power and the authority to heal. And that's something that we really need to remember and cling to in these current situations and these current days. God's desire for us is that we do be restored to fullness of health. But because of the fall, because of our sinful rebellion against God's will, disease and death entered the story. They're part of the world. But Jesus, he came to restore us to relationship with our Father. And as part of that, that means the healing of our afflictions and illness. Now obviously it's not in full yet because we live in the now but not yet of the kingdom. But there is a promised day of total healing coming in Revelation chapter 21, when all sickness and death will be no more. But until that day, as the kingdom breaks out, there's going to be healings as the world gradually returns to the way God desired it to be. Like trailers in the build-up to a big movie release. We should expect healings to happen, and we should be praying for the sick, particularly those suffering at the moment from coronavirus, trusting that our God has the power to heal. And you can read more about that in James chapter 5 verses 14 and 15. See, what we see in this chapter in Matthew is that there's power in the words of Jesus. He spoke and the sick were healed. Later on in the chapter, he speaks and a storm is stilled. We must not neglect the words of Jesus. We must read them and meditate on them and let him speak with power and authority into our lives. So the application today is to press into the words of Jesus. In some Bible translations, they print the words of Jesus in red text to help draw your attention to them. So maybe today, take some time flicking through a paper copy of the Bible and mulling over and meditating on some of the words of Jesus. Trust in his power and his authority today, and trust that he is still in the business of healing. And as we finish in prayer, from this passage, think of people in your life that need the healing touch of Jesus today. People that need his power and authority to break through for the diseases that they're facing, and lift them up to him in prayer today. Let's pray.